one of my favorite guys to talk to because of his sweeping command of politics and law and history and logic and conservative principles is my dear friend Manny Montenegrino. He was a former senior partner at a national law firm. He was the lawyer for Stephen Harper's prime minister, and he is now the CEO of Think Sharp, and he joins us via Skype from our nation's capital, Ottawa, Canada. Manny, it's great to see you. My friend Sheila Gunn Reid's here with me, and welcome to our election
Hi,
night,
Sheila.
midterm election live stream. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Sheila. Glad to join you.
Well, I'm excited about what's going on. I was quite depressed in 2020 when not only the presidency was lost, but the Congress and the Senate, and it's been, and Americans have paid the price. I mean, the economy is a disaster. There are wars again that there weren't under Trump. Tell me your feelings. It's almost 9 p.m. Eastern, so the early results are in. Ron DeSantis handsomely reelected. I haven't really followed other races while I've been on here. How are you feeling about the night so far, Manny?
Well, I'm feeling very well. I think there's going to be order brought back to America. One of the key places to look is Miami-Dade. And I think probably most Canadians have been to Florida, or many Canadians at the East have been to Florida. Miami-Dade is a very democratic city. It's about 70% Hispanic, I think 10-15% Black, and the rest white. So it has been a Democratic stronghold for a long time. Even when the Republicans win the state, they lose Miami-Dade. Miami-Dade is very close now. And that tells you a lot of what's happening in this election. And I look at that county to tell me what's happening in the rest of America.
Yeah, it looks like Ron DeSantis at the governor level is ahead by about 10%, as opposed to behind by 20% last time. Manny, do you think that is the result of Ron DeSantis personally as governor? Do you think that's the Trump effect? Do you think that's radical woke Democrats driving Latinos away? Or do you think it's just people are sick of Biden? What do you think is going on there?
I think it's all of it. I think DeSantis is exceptionally brilliant in his command of simple messaging, and that has been working very well. I think there's a Trump effect. Trump has still enormous power with respect to attracting voters and logic to the whole process, and Biden is doing a terrible job. And you know, Democrats and liberals, they always look to paper everything through wordsmithing, and it's not working this time. And it's not working, and people are seeing the actual results of a catastrophic Democratic presidency and even Congress. And you can't simply change everything by words. People are, I mean, you can fudge it for a little bit, but when you see it play out, people are finally catching on. And I think Hispanics, you know, like you're looking at an Italian immigrant, and every Italian voted for liberals when we got to this country because we were threatened to, and it's simple as that. My father. But when you Italians, I mean, you look at the Hispanics, they fundamentally have strong conservative values. They work very hard. They believe in the family. They believe in the unity of the family, the greatness of the family. They believe in religion. They believe in hard work. These are all conservative values. And Hispanics, once they are liberated from the clutch of, you know, we let you into this country, and that was said to my father. And I have relatives that voted liberal, because they were told, we let you into this country, and if you don't, you're going back. And there's a sentiment of that with immigrants. But when immigrants start to see the value system, I mean, that's what elections are about. Which value system do you want? And the Hispanic, I have said this, and the Hispanics are going to move in droves to the Republican Party because they represent the values that they believe in. They don't believe in many of the values that, I won't even call them Democrats or liberals, and now they're moving into socialists. They're escaping countries where they didn't have these rights. And so you're going to see that the Hispanic vote, and traditionally it's about 30% Republican, it might reach 50, even more this time. And that's true of the black vote as well. It's starting to move historically. So there's going to be when you analyze the whole data when it comes out, you're going to see a real awakening in America. And the Democrats have pushed so far to socialism that they're just a core. You have some great Democrats that are leaving the party. Bill Maher, who is probably the greatest spokesperson for the Democrats, has left this. The party doesn't represent this liberal thinker. So that's what's going to happen. Miami-Dade County tells me everything about this election. And now these are early numbers, but boy, oh boy, the Republicans are doing great.
Manny, let me read you a quick tweet from Mike Cernovich, who is an observer in LA, who I think has contrarian takes sometimes, but I think he's often right. He said this about the results in Florida and DeSantis. He says, today's results show the way for Republicans to win Latino voters is not to give amnesty to illegal immigrants. This is an empirical fact now. Latino voters totally shifted. Amnesty is finished, done. It's provably not the way. And when you think about it, Joe Biden has let in literally 2 million illegals in this year, like a shocking number. Yeah. It's so much more. It would be like the entire border of Roxham Roads. And you would think that, one might think that Latino voters would say, oh, they're largely Latino border crossers. The Democrats who opened the border are our friends. That does not appear to be what happened in Florida. And I know that there's a new wave of Republican Latinos in Texas. Myra Flores, an example, they're along the border, like some of these border counties, border districts, 60, 70, 80% Latino, they are voting MAGA Republican. And the open border is part of their motivation. It's counterintuitive if you think, oh, Latino voters just want more Latino immigration, illegal or not. I think that's an interesting observation by Mike Cernovich. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely excellent observation. It's very simple. Liberals see, Democrats, liberals see color. They don't see values. They don't see, they just categorize people into groups. Again, I go back to when I was a young lawyer, a very senior liberal mover that was appointed to the bench by Pierre Trudeau. And I was just a kid. He looked at me and said, well, you're Italian, you must be liberal. There's this presumption by these liberals that they stereotype and put everybody in silos and not understanding their value system. If the liberals want to be smart, you don't let Latinos into the country because they're fundamentally conservatives and Republicans. Go get I don't know, North Koreans or Chinese or whatever, but not necessarily Latinos. Latinos are very conservative in nature. Everything they do, but the Republicans see just silos. Even Biden said that, which was horrific to hear. He said, blacks are monolithic. However, Latinos might be different. This is how they see them. They see them in categories and groups. These are not value-based people. And once you sell values to people, they drive to values. It's that simple. And that's why you're seeing a huge shift, even in predominantly, I understand that white suburban women are moving to Republicans, and they're the ones that put the Democrats in place in the last election. Sell them values. People want values. They don't want just glitzy statements. They want real values, and you're seeing it. You're seeing it play out.
Sheila, go ahead.
No, I was just, it's funny because Manny used to be a lawyer for Stephen Harper, and Stephen Harper was very good at translating to new Canadians that they are indeed cultural conservatives, and Ron DeSantis has been great at that. But one of the things that Manny points out is so true, that even in Democrat cities in Texas, for example, the Democrat mayor of Eagle Pass, which is just one of the main border crossings, she's come out against her own party because of the policies of the Democrats nationally, causing her town to be overrun, and she's on the front line dealing with it. And so people like her and her voters, I think they're just one nudge away from being told that they're Republicans because, as you say, they're translating on values and not necessarily the party itself.
I mean, the values of the Republican Party today are almost no different than the values of the Democratic Party in early 80s, mid 70s. I mean, if you look at John F. Kennedy and everything he said, and I was a young liberal back in law school, it's what the Republican Party or the Conservative Party says today. It's the left has moved so far. The left have done two things. They've moved far too left to socialism, which is a scary place to be for any country. And for those people that have escaped Cuba, escaped countries that had these totalitarian governments, they understand it. Kids that have not lived in it haven't understand it, but they've gone too far in that way. And they've also lost their work ethic. And here's what I mean by that. The Democrats, I saw a report that some, and the media is horrific because they're all in it together. It feels like a conspiracy of joint interests, but they were saying, well, the Democrats didn't message it right. And that's all they're concerned about is messaging, and change words, change the word recession to something else, and therefore we don't have a recession. And that's her answer. There's an open border, millions are coming through. Call them undocumented immigrants, and that problem goes away. So all they do is redefine everything. And you know what? After a while, you have to kind of do hard work and work hard at values that you can touch people. And that's what works. Not just redefine, not just getting rid of the problem by redefining it. If someone has a mental illness, you don't sit there and say, well, we'll choose whatever you want, and that cures it. No, you deal with the mental illness. And this is the problem, is wordsmithing is the only thing left for the woke liberal, is to change the language, and therefore you solve the problem. But the problem is still there. And Ezra, here's a great example. And I thought of it because I have to get this message out to as many people, but that's what the liberals do. They just redefine language, and therefore the problem goes away. And it's like if someone can't swim and he's near a lake and he's found himself in a lake, the liberals would say, well, let's just redefine that lake to be a park, and the problem goes away. No, the person drowns. And a conservative says, let's teach him to swim. I don't care what you call it, but let's teach him to swim so he can swim in that park or in that lake. But
Manny, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just seeing that Ron DeSantis is about to give his remarks from his campaign headquarters, and we have our reporter on the scene, Yankee Pollock. So I'm sorry to break away from you now, but I want to make sure we have this. It looks like he's about to take the stage. You're welcome to stay with us and watch these remarks. We can continue talking until he takes the stage. I just didn't want to miss it. And when he comes on stage, we'll take the audio. So we're looking at a feed from our friend Yankee Pollock, who looks like he's in like the 6th row, quite close to the front. That's Yankee for you. He's really enthusiastic. He's a real Floridian. He used to live in Montreal, which had one of the roughest lockdowns in Canada, Manny. They had a curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., yes. 10 p.m. at night to 5 a.m. And I think that's when our friend Yankee said, I'm out of here. And so he's a proud Floridian now. So
bless him.
I just wanted to flip over because I didn't want to miss it. Hey, I got a quick question for you, Manny, but while we're waiting for DeSantis to take the stage. I'm worried, like I was just looking at the race between Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock in Georgia, and it is literally less than 0.1% difference. It is so close. And it's going back and forth. I am worried about election integrity. And I know you're not supposed to say that because you'll be banned on YouTube. But I think that the Democrats, especially in big cities where the local party is Democrat and they control things, I'm worried that the Republicans don't just have to win. They have to win by a significant margin that can't be overturned by cheating. What do you think?
No, we've just gone through, and I don't know why people don't understand. We have gone through the greatest misinformation that has gone to the core of human lives, and that is the COVID and the COVID vaccines. We were told right from the beginning that these vaccines are going to prevent infection, prevent transmission, and get us to herd immunity. And people are still saying it today. You need to have critical thinkers. At the beginning of this,
Freedom in 2022 is your right to disagree with me anytime on anything, in your heart, online, or in the public square. Freedom in 2022 is also your right to live your life however you see fit without hurting me or, for that matter, being bothered by me. But freedom in 2022 is in very real danger under constant attack by Justin Trudeau through his censorship bills, his attacks on gun rights, his attacks on farmers, and his attacks on peaceful protesters. These people have even tried to denormalize our flag. At Rebel News, we're not afraid to have dangerous discussions that Justin Trudeau, the media, and big tech censors say we're not allowed to have. And we want to have them with you at our upcoming Rebel Live events, first in Toronto, November 19th, and again in Calgary, Saturday, November 26th. I'll be there with dozens of other Rebels and Rebel-adjacent free thinkers, and I hope that you'll join us. Just go to rebelnewslive.com to get your tickets today, but do not sleep on this, because these tickets are going fast. See you soon.